So if you're watching this video, you probably know by now that I'm a luxury lover and that I have a nicely sized luxury bag collection. I don't have the most bags in the world, but I have plenty and I'm very happy with my collection. I've got a few more things that I'd like to add, of course, but I do have quite a varied collection that I'm very happy with. That being said, sometimes that means that some of my bags just don't make it into rotation, and sometimes they don't make it into rotation for quite a while. In this video, I want to talk about my top 5 least used bags of 2024 and my reasons why they're my least used. All of these are great bags, by the way. I obviously bought them because I really loved them, and I have used them quite a bit in the past. It's just that in 2024, these bags didn't see the light of day as often as some of my other ones, and I wanted to discuss why. Hello, welcome back to Classics with the Quirk, where I talk about contemporary and luxury designer items and brands with a touch of silliness. If this is the kind of content that you find interesting, please do like this video and subscribe for more of it. Thank you. The first bag on this list, and one that is very unsurprising, is my vintage Louis Vuitton Kabas in the Messo size. This is, as I said, a vintage bag. It has a zip, it's got vachetta on the bottom and along the handles and on the sides. I know that Louis Vuitton recently re-released the Louis Vuitton Kabas Messo, and I personally think that the vintage one is better and also way less expensive. You are obviously going to get some vachetta damage, but I don't care about that, especially since it's on the bottom. And I got this bag from Japan for something like $200 or $300. So you can get them for really good prices, even with a new version out. Now, the reason I haven't used this bag a lot in 2024 is because this is primarily a travel bag for me. I do have other totes that I really like, and I even have other totes this size that I really like and use quite frequently. It's just that something about this bag is more travel for me, and I don't entirely know why. I have traveled a fair bit in 2024, but just because this bag was worn on the shoulder as opposed to like a backpack where I can wear it on both shoulders, or a bag that can slip over my roll-on luggage, this one doesn't super easily. It's just something that I haven't been reaching for. And it's a little bit too big for me to use day to day as just a handbag personally. And when I go to work, I have other bags that I use, or if I need a lot of bags, I'm usually using my Salvatore Ferragamo tote because I really like that one and just haven't changed out of it for months. So this one just hasn't seen the light of day. I super recommend this bag, especially if you can find it for a good deal. I'll link this one down below, and I'll actually link all the bags I've mentioned down below in the description box so I can find them on the preloved market, because again, all of these bags are really excellent, and I do endorse this one, especially if you're a big bag lover or a tote lover. And I mean, it's got a zip. You can't beat that. The Neverfull doesn't have a zip. The next bag on my list is a Chanel bag, and I know it's criminal to not use Chanel as often as you could, but it is my Chanel Reissue in the 225 size. Now, I love this bag a lot, and it's very special, in part because this bag particularly was released in 2005. You can see the embossing here, and that means that it was released in the original reissue of the reissue bag. Technically, the 2005 reissues are the only bags that can be called reissues because those were the reissued bags, and any other bag is supposed to be the 255, but we all call it the reissue because of course we do. And this is in the smallest size that isn't the mini reissue or the 224, which isn't made anymore. It is a double flap, and it is pretty comparable to in between the Chanel medium classic flap in the small size and the Chanel medium classic flap in the medium size. I'd say it's probably closer to the medium, and if you're interested, I might do a comparison of the 225 in comparison to the Chanel medium classic flap. Let me know if you're interested in a video like that. I know I do comparisons sometimes. I did compare this bag to the mini reissue a little while ago, so I'll link that video down below for you too. And I honestly don't know why I don't wear this more often. It's just I have a couple of other black bags that are smaller that I tend to reach for more, because this is sort of the size that it would be more of an occasion bag for me and not necessarily a daily bag. And for daily bags, I have bigger bags that I often wear. So this is sort of just an in-between size. If you've been on this channel before, you know that I'm very interested in getting a 226, so the next size up. And I've tried that on a number of times, and I am very interested. It's just that I haven't pulled the trigger yet, and I'm not entirely sure why, because I've wanted it for like 3 or 4 years now. I just think it's such a classic, classy looking bag that really stands the test of time. Certainly not as popular as the medium classic flaps, in part because it doesn't have the double CC, so I understand people love their logos. I do think that one of the reasons I don't wear this bag as often as I could is because it's very narrow. It doesn't have a lot of width, as you can see, or depth rather, and that means it's kind of hard to fit things inside of it, because if I put my wallet in it, that takes up like 1/2. If I put in my keys, it takes up the other half. And then I can like just barely squeeze in my phone because my phone is massive. All phones these days are massive, especially because I use a pretty big case and I also have a phone stand. And so it just, it's a little bit harder for me to wear just because it's so small. And again, if I'm wearing it as an occasion bag, there are other smaller backpacks that I've been reaching for more often than this one. It's a beautiful bag though, and I really do recommend the reissues if that's a bag you've been interested in, because you can get them for really good deals just because they are, again, less popular since they don't have the logo. If you don't care about the logo, you like the look of the reissue, I would wholeheartedly recommend these bags. Now going back to Louis Vuitton, the next bag on my list is my Louis Vuitton Sienna in the PM size. This is also a discontinued Louis Vuitton bag, though it's not a vintage bag by any means. And I think this bag is so attractive. I love the pleating of it, and I think that my bag still has pretty good structure, although it is pulling in a little at the corners. If you can see, it's collapsing a little bit, but I do keep it stuffed to try to maintain the shape as best as I can. I just think it's such a pretty bag, especially with the gold hardware accents, like the little details here. And it's a really good bag too. It fits quite a lot. I love the fact that you can top handle it. It does come with a crossbody strap, and the crossbody strap hits me very nicely, though I do tend to wear it top handle because I'm a top handle person. I just have not been reaching for this, and I think honestly the reason why is because the way that my shelves are set up, this is on a higher shelf, and I don't see it as often as I see other bags. Now I do think I'm going to be wearing it more often going forward, because this bag is, as you can see, in Damier Ebene, and the handles are treated leather, so it's incredibly hard wearing and durable and very good for bad weather. Like I can wear this bag in the rain, I can wear this bag in the snow and slush and not really worry about it. And now that we're heading into fall and winter, where we're more likely to have bad weather like snow, I think I'm going to be more likely to grab this bag than I am, say, a Chanel lambskin. I do wear this bag, I've noticed, most often in like December, January, February. I don't really remember wearing it that much this year in January, February. I could be mistaken, but I don't recall doing that very often. But also January and February this year was not a great month for family, and there was a lot of like hospital visits, so I wasn't like going out very often, honestly. When I was working, I was taking like a tote because I was working at like the coffee shop or my create space or something like that. So there just wasn't a lot of opportunity to use this, and it also doesn't fit my iPad. It is a little bit too small. It can fit my planner, my notebooks, a nice size wallet, keys, phone. It fits a lot. It's just, I just wasn't wearing it very often because of circumstances. So I do think I'm going to be reaching for this more often in the next couple of months, but as of right now, it was one of my least used bags of 2024. The fourth bag on my list, and one I'm pretty sad about because this bag is absolutely gorgeous, is my vintage Chanel flap with the detailed CC and the bijou chain with the 24 karat gold allied plating. Now this bag is beautiful. It was on my wish list for the longest time, and when I finally got it, I was over the moon. I got it for a really good price too, and I believe I found it on Vestiaire Collective. It is such a pretty bag. The lambskin is soft and supple and gorgeous. You can see how it reflects the light. The quilts are flat, as you can see, but this bag was made with flatter quilting, so it doesn't really bother me that they're not puffy. There's a little bit of dimpling, and you can see especially as how it reflects the light, but I just think it's so beautiful. It's got a single flap here, and it's burgundy lined in the interior. It's got this cute little front pocket too, which like a card holder can fit in, and that's pretty much all you use it for unless you want to use it for receipts or a ticket or something. I really like this bag, but I know why I haven't used it, and that's because it is a long strap. The bijou chain is one long strap, and it's basically a crossbody bag or long shoulder bag. The size and shape of the bag, it's a little bit boxy and bulky on me. Like it sticks out kind of a bit, and I don't love the look of that. And I also don't prefer crossbodies as it is. I don't tend to wear crossbodies. I like top handles. I like shoulder bags. I do like long shoulder once in a while, but for the most part I like top handle and like short shoulder bags. And this bag, because the strap is just long, you couldn't do that. And so I finally thought to myself, you don't have to wear it with the long chain. You can shorten the strap. And so I did that. I got this little bag chain strap shortener off of Amazon. This little thing, I'll link it below, and it just attaches to the chain inside the bag, and now it is a little short shoulder moment, and I love it. I actually just wore this bag out the other day. I went to see Beetlejuice the musical and had a simply marvelous time. Wholly recommend it if you can go see it. It is rated R. Be very aware it's not children appropriate. There were children there, and it was kind of not great. It was a little bit weird because it was not necessarily child appropriate, but really good musical, excellent cast, super fun, super funny. Anyway, yeah, so I wore it with the chain shortened, and I really loved it a lot. So I think that going forward, that's primarily how I'm going to wear this bag, just keep the chain shortener on it. And I'm really happy that I found a way that I'm going to be able to wear it more often going forward, because I am so excited to wear this in the future. And finally, the last bag on my list comes in this orange dust bag, and as you can probably tell, it is an orange Hermes dust bag, and it is a vintage orange Hermes dust bag. And that bag is, surprise, surprise, my vintage Kelly in the box calf blue jade. Now, this bag is gorgeous. I got this bag last year. It was an interesting debacle because I wasn't sure if I was getting a 35 or a 32. I'll link that video for you below because it's very fun, I think. But basically, long story short, is that the RealReal had this listed in the description as a 35, but the measurements and the pictures look like a 32. I got it, not really sure what I was getting, and it did end up being a 32. And I'm really glad it ended up being a 32 because a 35 in the Cellier would have been much too big. I recently unboxed a Kelly 35 in the Retourné, which I will link that video for you below because I was so excited for it, and I love that bag. I love the 35 size in the Retourné. It's super useful, it's super fun, so easy to use. This bag isn't. I'm going to be making a review actually soon about my Kelly 35, so stay tuned for that. And in that review, I'm probably going to compare these two a little bit more. I did do a little bit of a size comparison in my unboxing video, so again, I'll link that for you. But basically, this bag, it's just, it feels a little bit too big on me. It's a boxy, slightly bulky bag. And because again, it's Cellier with the outside stitching and it's so like structured and rigid, it doesn't really have a lot of give stylistically for me. I do primarily wear it top handle because I think it looks the least big, just like handheld carried. And I do think there's something so chic about hand carrying a bigger Kelly, like the Kelly 32, the Kelly 35. I love them top handle. I even crook of the arm, I don't love them as much. I love them just like swinging casually top handle. I think they looks so cute. And so you might ask, Quirky, if you wear it top handle and you think it looks really nice top handle, why aren't you wearing this bag more often? It's a beautiful bag, it's Hermes, it's box cap blue jean leather. What's the problem if you wear it top handle? This bag is really, really fussy to use. Now again, my Kelly 35, not fussy at all. Effortless. This bag is harder to get in and out of, much harder to get in and out of. Because it's box cap leather, it's so stiff that it's an effort like to pull the sangles around, and then getting it open and just opening it up, it's just a little bit of a faff, and then having to try to close it again because it's so stiff, there's no give. You just you see what I mean? Like it's just a little bit hard to use. And so when I wear this bag, I put stuff in it, like my phone, because it doesn't have a back pocket or anything. Not that I think a Kelly should have a back pocket, I don't, but it doesn't have one, so it makes it harder to get stuff in and out of. Like my phone is not easy access. And if I'm wearing something that doesn't have pockets, I'm carrying my phone in my hand. So if I'm carrying my phone in my hand and I'm carrying this big bag in the other hand, I don't have any hands. And then, yeah, I can top handle it and carry the, like, but I don't love that look. So it's just, using it is a little bit hard. Now, obviously, that's a silly complaint. Like I can just put it on my crook of my arm or even put the shoulder strap on. And I've done that. I took this bag with me to Japan last year and I used it a lot. It just, I was noticing as I was using it that it was very cumbersome to use. And I don't love carrying the bigger Kellys with just the turn lock and all that pressure right here. I do prefer to use the sangles. And so if I want to put the sangles back on this bag, it's kind of, it's an effort. Like I have to use both hands and like, not super easy, not easy to do on the fly. And so if I'm using this bag out and about, I put my wallet in there, for instance, not even my phone, but my wallet, and I need to access it or access my keys. I think about how hard it might be to use, and then I just never take my stuff out, or I never want to take my stuff out. Now I am possibly interested in Kelly 32 in the Retourné, and I love the look of the Kelly so much that there have been a couple of 32 Celliers that I've almost bought, and then I have to be like, no, self, you already have this one and you don't use it very often, don't do that. So this on my shelf is kind of like a shelf piece, sort of stops me from buying other Kelly 32s, so that's a good thing. I do think that this is one of the most beautiful bags in my collection. I love the color. I really do want to try to wear this more often though, and I recently got a third-party shoulder strap that matches this bag really well, and I've worn it on the shoulder a couple of times, kind of long shoulder, and I do like that look. I'll link the shoulder strap down below for you if you're interested, because there are a bunch available, but I don't know how to wear it. And if you have any suggestions on like styling, like how I could wear this or what I can wear it with, or just assure me that it doesn't look too big on my frame so I don't feel self-conscious about taking it out. Like, I can deal with it being too big if it was easier to use. I could deal with it being a little harder to use if it was easier to wear. It's just that both of those things combined makes it a bag I really don't reach for that often. And so those are my 5 least used bags so far of 2024. Some of these bags I do intend to use more often, or do hope to use more often going forward, like the Louis Vuitton Sienna and the vintage Chanel. Some of these bags I do want to try to use more often, like of course my Kelly 32, but what did you think of my list? Maybe advice on how to wear some of these bags, and I'd also love if you shared your least used bag of 2024. I also wanted to ask if there are any videos from me that you'd like to see. Any comparison videos, any review videos, any videos about leathers, for instance. I'd love to hear your suggestions, so please do leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, please do give me a like. It super duper helps the algorithm, and subscribe for more comment that helps the algorithm even more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.